in internal medicine. Now he's the executive chairman of Fortis CDOC. He's a BC Roy awardee, he's a Padma Shri awardee. He has several publications. He is very actively involved with the British Medical Journal. He's the editor-in-chief of Diabetes and Metabolic Syndrome in the Clinical Research and Reviews. And he's very, very actively involved in cutting-edge research. And Professor Mishra has been an outstanding speaker, and he's a global speaker of eminence, and we have been fortunate enough. He's one of the founders of Diabetes India. He was one of the founding trustees of Diabetes India and has been very actively involved in some evidence-based work in diabetes, obesity, and some very good cross-sectional data, including lipids and nutrition. And that's really his areas of interest: diabetes, obesity, and nutrition. And Professor Mishra is going to give us some glimpse on the Indian perspective and COVID and diabetes. Professor Anup Mishra.
Thank you, Shashank. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. Can you hear the slides? Can you
Yeah,
see the slides?
yeah, the slides are visible. So,
Okay. Dharmendra, if you can mute other, the participants, because there was some background noise in the last lecture. Thank you. Um, my slides are very few, about 7 slides where the main matter is, and rest are 2-3 slides of introduction and so on. These are the same slides that I projected in the recent Harvard seminar on COVID and diabetes, worldwide view from various countries and continents. There are some data I'm going to project which have been done by me and my group and my collaborators from all over the country. At the outset, I must thank Bansi and Shashank for giving me this opportunity. And Shashank, as usual, you have been outstanding as a moderator, and I'm very honored to be in company of Dr. Chan, Dr. Sen, and Dr. Ral. There is no disclosure, no conflict of interest, and this is my research team. Now, this is the presentation is India specific, and there's nothing else I'm going to talk about. And I'm not going to talk about trends and numbers and so on. But some things I will stress in this introductory slide. Number one, as everybody knows, huge number of patients with diabetes in India, but more importantly, 18 million above 65 years. And you can see this is the Southeast Asia data from IDF Atlas, and most of the diabetic patients are concentrated upon 2 decades, 50 to 59 years and 60 to 69 years. Why this is important? Because this is where I will show you. This is where most of the COVID attack is here in India. Now, initially, first 2 months, there have been a slow increase in the cases of COVID-19 in India. And around 3 weeks back, it suddenly shot up. And first, Maharashtra and Shashank is in the helm of affairs there under the chief minister there. And then Ahmedabad and also Delhi is in a bad shape at this point of time. Overall mortality remains low. Now, I have no idea how this has occurred, but I'll discuss a bit more about this. I'm not even sure about the data, actually. It was 2.8 or 2.7 a couple of days back, and it increased to 3.2. So certainly there's something more happening at this point of time. Now, if you see, these are the preliminary data from India, some 30 days back. And you can see some things which are peculiar. One is that more of young people are affected, but attack rate per 100,000 population is more in the 50 to 60 years where the diabetic patients lie. Also, there have been some recent data from Indian Council of Medical Research, which is the top medical agency in India, that males are more affected, and the reasons of that, those are not very clear. Now, public health response, I won't comment. There's a lot of debate, and I'm not going to go there. I would say overall had been adequate till now. But the government allocation of some hospitals as total COVID hospital leaves a lot to be desired as far as diabetes is concerned, because there is hardly any diabetes specialists there, and diabetes being a common problem, uh, the management possibly is not up to the mark. Now, these data were calculated at 71 days of lockdown. My question one is, what are the lifestyle changes in patients with diabetes during lockdown? This is the published data, a small online survey. And what we saw was a couple of things which are good and a couple of things which are bad. Now, first, the bad things, there has been decrease in the exercise duration by 50%. You can see that. And that's natural because of the India's lockdown was very, very strict. People couldn't go out at all. There's increased intake of carbohydrate, increased intake of snacks, and also widespread mental stress. 87% of the people said some sort of stress, and 30% couldn't sleep. Weight gain in this particular cohort was 19%. There were good things also. There was an increase in the fruit intake, and widespread there's the media that you have to take a lot of vitamin C and a lot of citrus fruit and so on. So people are taking a lot of it. And of course, there's a major decrease in ordering food from outside. There's a good availability of medicines and insulin. This is not interrupt. There's no interruption of these supplies. I must commend the government on that. All the medicine shops are open and the supply was continuous, at least in Delhi. I'm sure this is the same in Maharashtra also. And the other thing which we in this survey was brought out, that there's a good knowledge and preference for telemedicine as far as these respondents were concerned. Now, the question was that if we have to live with telemedicine, in the future, this pandemic is going to stay for 3 to 6 months or longer, then do Indian patients, will they be able to be managed through telemedicine? That is the second question. Would teleconsult be suitable for patients with diabetes in India? And these are our two publications on the right side, you see. One is the guidelines for teleconsultations for physicians for India. And the other is, after having done around 700 teleconsultations, we wrote another paper. What are the problems with teleconsultations in India? And the problems are given on the left side. Technical and bandwidth glitches all the time. 25% is possibly a conservative estimate. Inability to access online link. We are using a platform where once they deposit the fees, the link is given, and that link should be accessed, and that's the problem. Poor quality of picture. Patient often is not able to focus on themselves, especially older patient. And within the picture frame, there's either the ceiling or sofa and not the patient. There is a poorer perception of sound, especially in presence of hearing deficit, and many patients are elderly and not able to hear properly. There's a lot of background noise, sometimes children playing in the background and so on. And India, people, they're joint families. There are 10 people living in the same sort of house or adjoining houses. And so too many people, 6, 7 people joining on the same frame like this. So this is a typical Indian sort of mentality. And you cannot you cannot even identify who the patient is, leave aside talking to them. So these are the problems which we have published essentially. Now, the third thing is what might happen to glycemia and complications in patients with diabetes as a result of lockdown. And this is on the right side is a publication led by Samit Ghoshal from Calcutta and includes our group. Now, the baseline were two things. One was the data from previous disasters, including some of the tornadoes, typhoon, and so on, and the baseline ABC in Indian population, which is pretty bad. Based on that and the days of lockdown and how much the people are gaining weight, we projected that at 30 days and 45 days of lockdown, what would be the predicted A1C subsequently, and it was pretty high. And also based on that, the predicted increment in diabetes complications at the end of 30 days. Of course, the lockdown went on much further. The complication increase as far as microvascular complications is concerned, and as well as macrovascular complications. So this overall is a modeling. Any modeling can go wrong, but it shows that there will be projected increase in the worsening of diabetes control and increase in the complications in the future because of lockdown itself. Now we come to question 4. These are the diabetic patients. Question 4. What might happen to glycemia in apparently non-diabetic individuals as a result of lockdown? Again, we took a baseline data of 100 apparently non-diabetic individuals at 49 days of lockdown, and based on their weight gain, etc., we projected how many of these may be converted to, or they're at risk for diabetes. And you see on the right side, in this particular cohort, 40% gained weight. These are apparently non-diabetic individuals. And using a scoring system, we found that 7% of this population is at high risk and possibly change over to diabetes. So that's something which is adding on to the numbers of the previously diabetic individuals and their worsening diabetes control, and as well as the complications that we are going to see. Now, the most important question, and there's no answer to this, why overall mortality is low in India? Remember, there are other countries, they are 10%, 15%, 20% even mortality. Here we are living with 2.5 to 3%. Maybe it will increase to 3.5%. So even then it is less. Now, recent data shows that in the UK, and I'm sure Dr. Carr knows more about it, higher mortality is seen in Asians and people who are in minority. And why overall mortality seen in Asian Indians and India is not clear, despite all the adverse factors stacked up against them. Poorly controlled diabetes, prevalent obesity in Delhi and all metropolitan cities, and it has been seen recently that mortality is significant even at BMI of more around 25 or more, which is not actually considered as obesity in the West, although it may be considered as obesity in India. High numbers with coronary artery disease, and Indians have higher underlying subclinical inflammation. And the diabetes care today, and it was online a couple of days back, clearly shows those people who have a high CRP have a high mortality due to COVID-19. And here is a population which already has higher CRP than the whites. So why, despite all this, there is no increased mortality? We have no answers, but there are a couple of things, only 2 of them I will project because we have written about it, and one can access our recent publication in Diabetes Research and Clinical Practice. One popular sort of thinking is universal BCG vaccination. Now, on the right side, you see a paper where the countries which have a universal BCG vaccination have a lower mortality than who do not. India, everybody is vaccinated. And Indians who go out also are actually, if they go out after a couple of years, they are also vaccinated in their childhood. The second thing is that in India, I have had 3-4 viral infections in the last couple of years, and in childhood, multiple episodes of malaria. And we have all received chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, all sorts of things. So have we undergone a lot of cytokine storm previously? And this cytokine storm, which may come with the COVID-19, is it going to be muted because of effect of repeated exposure to malaria or viral infection? This is also not very well known. There are other hypotheses also, like the pro-inflammatory secretome is more activated in winters rather than summer. So India being a sort of the temperature everywhere is a little hot and warm or hot at this time, and there may be pro-inflammatory cytokines are not that high as in cold climate. Now this is a slide which is I would say excellently done by Harpreet Bajaj from Canada, and I have taken with his permission and I have a sort of a modulated according to Indian situation. Now, if you understand this slide, this is just a cartoon. There is no numbers here. Percentage of death and hospitalizations are given on the left side, and these are the years. And you see this peak is the COVID-related mortality first peak, and possibly a second peak in 2021, and then smaller waves here. And here are already underlying high diabetes related mortality, and due to acute care interruption, increase in the mortality due to diabetes, and then another acute care interruption, and then chronic care interruption because of repeated, sort of a smaller peak. Now, what will happen to India? This is my conjecture that mortality may be lower as far as COVID-19 deaths are concerned than other countries, and we have discussed this in the previous slide. However, diabetes-related acute care interruption, the mortality and morbidity hospitalization will be higher in acute care and chronic care, and we have already shown mathematical modeling-wise that the uncontrolled glycemia will be more, complications will be more, and newly added diabetes will be more, and we are going to have a tsunami of diabetes and its complications subsequent to this particular epidemic. And here comes my last slide, where I ask the final question. Are there any solutions to multiple challenges in diabetes care in India as a response to COVID-19? On the left side are challenges, on the right side are possible solutions. In the outpatients, we have a large number of patients with diabetes comorbidity. We should reconnect the patient. And recently we have written with Professor Bloomgarten that global call to reconnect with the patient. Patient may not come to you. You should go to the patient. And strengthen education. In India, education is a major problem, and we should strengthen education in these patients. Problem in reconnection because of lockdown or fear of the hospital. Fear of the hospital is great, even at this point of time. So teleconsult is the option, but not the sort of a proper laptop or a computer based, but a smartphone based iPhone. Everybody uses iPhone and similar phones here. So that kind of teleconsultation is preferable because they are used to it, and short text messaging using a WhatsApp, that is preferable. Baseline poor glycemic and blood pressure control, we should emphasize that this is the time where blood sugar control is more important, and empower them that you should decrease your drug or increase your drug according to this, and you may not come to the hospital, and you may do one teleconsult, learn from us, and do more as for emphasize good control. And they will, most of them patients are listening now. They were not listening earlier, but they are listening now because they have a lot of fear to coronavirus. Inpatient, in designated COVID hospital or teams, we should include diabetes specialists. We have been seeing a lot of problems of ketoacidosis, new onset diabetes, and high insulin requirement in hospitalized patients. We should develop locally suitable protocols and do further research here. And finally, diabetes burden will be enhanced, the complication will be enhanced, and other diseases like tuberculosis will go up, and there will be a bidirectional problem with tuberculosis and diabetes. So we should strengthen our national diabetes control program. So thank you, Shashank, and thank you, Bansi, for giving me this opportunity. And it's a great pleasure being with you.
Thank you so much, Professor Mishra. As usual, very insightful, very thought-provoking, very exciting. And you have told us that we are sitting on many icebergs, and we are sitting on many time bombs. One is the diabetes, and that is glycemia. One is the COVID and its complex interplay. And because of the lockdown, probably everybody's locked in. And as we unlock, we will have an avalanche, both of diabetes complications and other things. And I think you made a very valid point of going into reaching out to the patient. So Professor Mishra, 2 quick points, and if anybody from the panel wants to ask a question, you're most welcome. The first thing is that you made a very passing remark about BCG vaccine. A lot of our young population has also received oral polio vaccine. You made a comment about the muted Dharmendra, you need not have this so that it's okay. Keep this on. Otherwise, you can have, if you can have the panel on the screen. That will be wonderful. Or just Professor Mishra's face. Yeah, this is perfect.
No, no, this is fine. All panel.
Yeah. Oh no, that the Professor Mishra's face is fine. So I think this muted storm, vaccination, the summer temperature. We are in the first season. What really you feel? What is really the underlying factor? And the second question somebody has asked, which I wanted to ask, is if does a well-controlled diabetic, is that person's susceptibility to COVID in India the same as a non-diabetic?
Okay, I think both questions are very difficult to respond, Shashank. But if you ask my preference, and my preference is only based on my liking to the story, I feel BCG is something which we should look forward to. And we know that BCG increases, vaccination increases innate immunity, T-cell immunity, and that has a great deal to do with COVID-19 also. And it has been seen that those who have BCG vaccination have previously also, they had certain decrease in the infections, pulmonary infections or otherwise. Whether this is the same story for COVID-19, we do not know. So there is no firm answers here, Shashank, but my take is number one on BCG vaccination. As far as the second question is concerned, I feel, and I often tell my patients, but that's again my story and my thinking, that that patients who are well controlled and they are not going to be susceptible to COVID-19. Even we are not even sure who are the diabetic patients who are susceptible to COVID-19. Now, this is different from mortality. The mortality is high. There is no doubt about it. The ICU, hospitalization is also high. But whether all diabetics are susceptible or segment of them. For example, let's say there are two types of diabetics. One recently diagnosed whose fasting sugar is 110, BP sugar is 160, no blood pressure problem, 40-year-old, exercises regularly and has a good diet. I don't think he is going to be susceptible. But a patient who is 20 years down the line as a diabetes concern, fasting sugar of 200, A1C of 9.5, and has multiple comorbid, certainly there is no question about it. But I was talking to some of the geriatricians who are treating COVID-19 patients, and they say in India, surprisingly, barring of course a couple of instances, it is the people who are above 70 to 75-year-old who are more susceptible. Even people with 60, 65 and 70 are not doing badly. So extremes of ages, certainly there is no, along with diabetes, which is uncontrolled with comorbidities, they are not going to do that.
Thank you, Professor Mishra. I think I will be happy if you stay throughout the panel, but if you have a commitment, thank you so much. We will now move to Professor Ithamar Raj, and thank you so much for your wonderful, outstanding presentation. As usual, you have been leading the pecking order of Indian publications. Professor Mishra has had the largest number of publications in the COVID space. So we move on to our next speaker, Professor Ithamar Raj from Israel. He's a living legend.